used to watch Wimbledon. I used to watch all of that stuff, and then I just fell out of it because my husband doesn't watch it, so I just stopped watching it. I used to love that stuff when I was in high school.
Oh.
Well, I
He
grew up in a tennis family. I mean, we watched Jimmy Connors live at age
Oh
whatever that
yeah.
was, 39, in the U.S. The one they always play when there's a weather delay at the U.S. Open. Was it the Aaron Krickstein match? Is that what it is? Oh yeah, we saw that live back in the day.
How many centuries ago was that? No.
Yeah, that would have been like 90,
Was
91.
I born? Yeah,
Yeah.
I was born.
All right. Wow. Look at all of us, all of you all. Good to see you. Hopefully we'll have a few more join. What I want to do today is actually use some excerpts from some music to get us warmed up. So we're going to dive right in. I didn't include this in my email. I hope you have the theme from Elf available. Do you keep all your stuff together? Is that an easy grab for you? Alexis, you got it too? I see Sharon grabbing for it. Good, great. So what I want to do is, again, we're going to use a little bit of some stuff from this to get ourselves warmed up. Let's look at just at page 7, please. And we're going to start off here looking at page 7 and 8. So let me play what's going on at measure 39. I want to play it for you, and then just to get it in your ear, and then we'll talk about it. So it sounds like this at 39. Here's my quarter note. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a beautiful, simple little moment. Please note you're just saying "ah" the whole time. But right now, as you're learning it, if you want to do like if you really want to articulate, that's fine. If you're comfortable just singing through and only, just changing notes, that's fine too. Let's get this in our ear. So it's a good place for warm up, very small range. Let's try this little moment. Here we go. 1, 2, ah. You do the same thing twice, just the same thing twice. And again, you hear me, I'm just singing a straight, I'm not actually re-articulating, I'm articulating in the piano. Ideally, what I want to get us to is kind of this like Star Trek original theme, right? That whole thing. So I kind of want to have that here. So we don't need to have all the we don't actually need the rhythm itself. If you go back and listen to that sample recording, they played this on kazoo, which is the dumbest thing ever. This just needs to, I mean, I don't want to make this a joke. I said in my notes, this should be childlike, not childish, right? So it's just that beautiful open on, just as legato as you can make it. Think the string section, right? You're kind of being instruments here. One more time, let's sing it. 1 and go. Nice. Any questions about that little moment? It's really beautiful. It's really simple. I love that moment. That moment always kind of gets me at what little heart I have. Let's back it up to page 5. Here's another nice little moment to get ourselves, vocally going this afternoon. Up at the top of page 5, it sounds like this. And then the sopranos continue that, but you have a counter melody at the bottom. This is measure 30. the sopranos do it twice, you do it once, and then you have a little counter melody. And let's just do this on text because we've all got the follow laws just fine. So here we are at the top of page 5 with our little part on the follow laws. Ready and go. La la la, la la la, la la, la la la, la la la. La la la, la la la, la la la. Sorry, bad pace turn on my part. One more time, that second part at 30. Down at the bottom of page 5 at 30. One and go and la la la, la la la, la 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 la. And all of these things, you've got the breaths marked, with the big lines. This is just your most beautiful sound, right? This is actually in many ways an instrumental overture, believe it or not. As we learn more of the piece, you only sing words about 2 times. The rest of the time you're making just kind of nonsense syllables or stuff that we associate with the holidays. Good. Let's go back to the beginning here. Actually, let's say page 2. If you notice, page 1 is entirely Sean's introduction. So here we are at page 2. And it's just this beautiful little thing here. It's very fun. The nice thing is you do these bump bumps, I think 3 times total, and it's just about exactly the same each time. You start off here on page 2, you're singing the same thing with the sopranos, then you break off into some harmony on page 3. Well, let's try this, and I think we can do it at tempo. Bum, 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 and bum, bum. It should, well, hopefully you can hear the way I'm demonstrating it. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. The 8th note is the primary rhythm. So like when you have that dotted 8th in the second measure, still close to the M at about the same time. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. All the notes kind of end up being, you close to the M about the same time. Again, think of it like a pizzicato string. You're kind of imitating when they pluck the strings. And when they pluck the strings, especially think about cellos and basses, there's a real resonance, right? The violin is so short that when they pluck their strings, they sound really, really staccato. But when you have a cello or a bass pluck, like a string bass in a jazz group, right? There's a lot of resonance. So don't think about this as being short and staccato. Just just light and lightly separated. Let's try this at the top of 2. 1, 2, go. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Again, keep going. Sorry. Nice. So you essentially do the exact same thing twice in a row. The only thing that's different is that little hiccup I had at the top of 4. You've got a quarter note there, right? So at the top of 4, measure 20. Boom, 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 boom. So it's a little different than the first time. But other than that, it's really an exact repetition. Now, let's do a little experiment here. We're going to keep jumping around for a moment. Let's go now over to page 8, because I think we do just about the same darn thing one more time. Let's go over at page 8 at measure 47. Let's compare and see if it's the same. 1, 2. Oh, Marianne, we're on. Oh, sorry, Carly. I saw your name pop up. Carly, we are on theme from Elf. Measure 47. And 1, 2, 3. And we wish you very Merry Christmas to you. So at the end, we have a little bit of words. And we wish a very Merry Christmas to you. Listen just in your octave. And make sure we say we wish and we wish you a Merry Christmas, right? We wish you, we're not saying you here, but we wish you a Merry, not a Merry. And we wish a Merry, Merry Christmas to you. Let's try that last little bit. This is the pick up to 53 and we wish. 1, 2. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. As you work on this piece again, if you listen to that sample recording, just remember, we're not trying to do any of the cutesy stuff. We're just trying to have fun and be beautiful. Like on page 6 at the bottom, measure 36, when we sing jingle bells, jingle all the way, just sing it happily. They do it on the recording like they're like obnoxious little kids on a sidewalk. We don't want that, okay? You know, oh, that's high for me, boy. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. And you can imagine the way you want your face to look, but we want it to be beautiful. So believe it or not, ladies, that's the entire piece. What we just did in about 3 segments is the entire piece for you. So I want to go back to the beginning, and I want to go all the way through it just with me here at the piano, so that way you'll hear it, kind of in its context. So I'm going to start on the first page, so you kind of hear the length of the intro. Remember, you come in right at the beginning of the next page. So we start off in a key lower, and then suddenly in measure 4, we're up a step where we belong. So here's the beginning. And here we go, and boom. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, sorry, I'll do a better job of the page. Sorry, you get the idea, but you're in right away top of the page. So here's measure 4, where we go to our new key. This is measure 4, and yeah. Again. And jingle bells, jingle all the way. And wish a very Merry Christmas to you. So it's just kind of this parade of about 3 different ideas, but it's really lovely. There's a quick change of key, so you've got to be able to do this, that whole thing, and then all of a sudden, right, and then you go back. You got to be able to jump around, but you'll hear all that in the recording. I mean, Sean made a great recording on this. It's really fun with the percussion too. But yeah, I mean, any questions? I mean, I would call this one pretty straightforward. Has anybody listened to or watched Elf lately? Anybody?
No,
Yeah,
but this
yeah.
makes me want to watch it. I love this. It's so
You know,
cute.
it's there's that opening scene with Bob Newhart right
I've
up
never
at
seen the
North
whole
Pole.
thing.
And then it's like after that, like when the credits kick in, that's when this comes in. And this, it's essentially the same thing. And I mean, of course, this is an arrangement for us, but it's really, really easy. It just gets in your mind. And there's,
It's the Christmas Mancini is what I think.
oh, yeah, okay. I mean, I can tell you this, you know, I probably told you before, but one of my great teachers during my undergrad, my first piano teacher, once looked at me and said, you know, Rob, not everything is difficult. You know, as I was, you know, suffering over some probably tiny, simple little piano piece, he's like, Rob, not everything is difficult. So I would encourage you, approach this with the idea of not everything is difficult. You know, bum, 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 bum. I mean, there's just not a lot of complication there to it. Obviously, we want to be in the right pitch. You want to be at the right rhythm. But you know, here, this moment. You know, I've given some shape, right, to help, you know, let you know what you want to do dynamically. But and I'm serious about that. When I say Star Trek, like the old 60s theme, you know what I'm talking about with the women, right? Go listen to it. If you know, Carly, I know you're very young, but go listen to it if you've not listened to it in a while. That's fantastic music making, and that's what we want here. Or another great example, Lawrence Welk, right? Lawrence Welk would sing the snot out of this piece, and it would be fantastic. I love Lawrence Welk. I was born 20 years too late. You're 30, Carly?
I really think the hardest part of this is the
Yeah.
jingle bells part.
Oh,
Is going from, yeah, because you're going from the follow,
Yeah.
and then you're going jingle bells, and without, you don't want us to sound like children. We want to sound like happy
Yeah.
adults.
But yeah, but no, and there should be, yeah, you're coming out, yeah, you got to have just a little bounce to it. Yeah. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. But mostly just as much smile in your sound as you can create, right? Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Yeah. And I know it's a little high in your voice, right? But we'll have all the sopranos there to back you up. So good. We're going to move on unless there are any questions. Carly, have you ever, who's really young here? Alexis, I mean, you're pretty young, right?
I'm about to be 34.
Nice. So Alexis, Carly, do you guys know Lawrence Welk? Have you watched Lawrence Welk before? You haven't. Carly, have you?
I'll send them a YouTube of Lawrence Welk.
Oh my gosh, Lawrence Welk will change your life. It's probably still on PBS somewhere. It's awesome. Seriously, the music making is incredible. And they actually treated live music like it was real. Instrumentalists, chorus people, soloists, fantastic. Good. All right, let's go, please stay in Christmas. Let's go to That's Christmas to Me. Lawrence Welk, W-E-L-K. It's so adorable.
We could do a whole show with him, with all their stuff. We could do a whole show with all their stuff.
Yeah. Oh, hey, are you kidding me? I'd be that giant baton he used. Yes. Yeah.
And you in a blue suit, baby blue suit. Oh my God.
Right. So That's Christmas to Me. This is really the last thing that we need to get all the way through. One of the nice things about this piece is it is extraordinarily repetitive. I said it last time, it looks complicated on the page, but take advantage of the fact that it's a pop song. It's so easy to listen to. You can listen to the pentatonics. They don't have the accompaniment we do, but you can get exactly, it matches our score perfectly. And they give you the idea of when to breathe. They care all those phrases that I've talked about that are corrected, right, with the slur. They do all of that stuff. So it's really easy to figure this piece out. One of the challenges of this piece is it goes back and forth between SSA and SSAA. Now that, for many of you, that doesn't affect you. You're always just going to be singing the low octave part. Well, actually, not with this group. No, with this group, it does affect you because you'd mostly be singing the upper. But so we've got to kind of know the roadmap, but I've got all those things marked. What I want to do is I actually want to kind of start from near the end, and then we're going to kind of work in chunks coming to the beginning. So for right now, let's go all the way over to page 13. We're going to do this last time through the refrain. The refrain always starts with this little idea. This is the top of page 13, the very last measure, where we have this in the soloist. So whenever you see that, I've got this Christmas, that's the beginning of the refrain. So for you, obviously you're hanging out here on this C on the alto 1 part. I'm sorry, my fault. So let's just go through your part specifically. Again, just do this last refrain, then we'll kind of work our way backwards. So here we are. I've got this. In your own little Zoom area, if you want to sing text, go for it. If you would prefer to just do like a do or something, that's fine too. Do what you need to do to feel like you're getting this absorbed. Here we go. So here we are on measure 113, page 13, last measure of the top line, which is measure 113. 1, 2, 5. Sorry. I'm sorry. Pause here.
Rob, I'm confused.
I got my fault. Yeah, go ahead.
Are we splitting? Are we taking the top note on that?
Well, I mean, this is all 4-part, and you're alto 1, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. My fault. One more time here. I've got this. Back where we started, top of 13, last measure. 1, 2. Let's get that on our brain one more time. Yeah, good, that was right. One more time just to get it in the brain, then we'll put it in context. Here we are, top of 13. 1, 2. And you'll see that I've got the notes marked out. So that's where you stop singing, okay? We'll finish this kind of like they do for real. So the challenge of this piece is, here's the beat. In fact, you could even say the beat is this. I've got this Christmas song in my heart. I've got the candles glowing in the dark. I mean, the harmonic motion is very slow, which is where we feel the beat, but you have to fit in a bunch of words. And that's why it's so busy on the page. I really, I don't encourage folks to do a lot of listening just for the sake of learning. I mean, we should all, be able to pull from the score. But with this piece, I really feel like if you listen, then suddenly those rhythms become much, much simpler than they look like on the page. Let's do this same segment one more time, then we'll back up. And remember, we've got a verse and we've got a refrain, so there's not too much material. So here you are, last time, top of 13. 1, 2. I got this Christmas song in my heart.
Holly has a question.
Oh, my
Rob?
fault. Go ahead. No, go ahead, that's good.
No, I don't have a question. It's just a look of being lost.
Oh, okay. Top page 13, same place, one more time. Top of 13, one more time. I've got this. 1, 2. And candles glowing in the dark. Years to come will always know that's all that Christmas can bring. Keep that in the back of your mind. Let's back this up. What I want to do first is we're going to skip a little section, and I want to go back to the refrain on page 9. So now you'll notice at the top of 9, remember I said this begins the refrain? I've got this Christmas song in my heart. So now, but you're singing a little more like backup, okay? So you're saying this, Christmas song. Etc. So instead of singing words, now we're kind of doing, we're still singing words, but it's more like a backup. So let's start right on 78. So your first pitch is the first pitch of the solo. It's the same pitch you just sang. Here we are at 78. And 1, 2, go. Christmas song, sung in my heart. Oh, stockings by the Christmas tree. Oh, why presents Christmas to me. I'm sorry. Okay. Right there, because that's Christmas to me. 1, 2, 3. Presents Christmas to me. Christmas to me. So there's that version of the refrain, right? The soloist is taking most of the words. You're singing some backup. One more time. Let's go back to the top of 9. Let's go back to the top of 9. Measure 78. And 1, 2, go. Christmas song, song in my heart. Oh, all the stockings by the Christmas tree. Off. Christmas to me. So that is 2 versions of the refrain. As we go further in the piece, you start singing more and more words during the refrain. Let's go back to the other refrain and see how it compares. So this is on page 5, please. On page 5. Top of page 5, here we go. I've got this Christmas song. Here we go. And this one, let's see how this one compares. It's going to be real close to what we just sang. 1, 2. I got this Christmas song in my heart. Oh, the stockings by the Christmas tree. Oh, why was that Christmas tree? Christmas tree. So we've done 3 refrains. I think, so let's say what we just did is number 1. Then on page 9 is number 2. And the one at the end, page 13, is number 3. 1 and 2 are the same for you. You sing the same parts. 3 is the one where now you got to sing a bunch of words. Harmonically, it's the same, but it's different because you got to put in all those words. So use that to your advantage, right? This is a long piece, but make sure you understand, okay, this refrain and this refrain are the same, and that one at the end is different.
I got a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So I thought we were, so are we on like the bottom line the whole time? Or, because it sounds like you're singing the top line of the bottom line.
Yeah, this piece is, remember, this piece is it's in either a 3-part split or a 4-part split, okay?
Well, that would be helpful if we could go through that.
Yeah, well, we can do that, that's fine. So Carly, this will help answer your question, but the point is you're always gonna be on the bottom line. There are a couple of alto ones who go up to soprano 2, but you're not one of those, so you're good. So let's start from the beginning here on page 1. And you'll see right where you come in, I've got the big SSA. What that's doing is telling you it's in 3 parts, soprano, soprano 1, soprano 2, and alto. But you're gonna be singing the bottom, well, you'll be singing the bottom line. And page 2, same stuff. There's no other capital letters. Page 3, same stuff. Page 4, same stuff. Page 5, we continue. So if you go all the way down to the bottom of page 6, at the bottom of page 6 is the first time we have 4-part chords. You see them there with those half notes on the word me? See those? Well, we got 4 parts, right? So we got to figure out how to cover them. Well, you're the alto 1, so Carly, you're still on the bottom line, but now you'll sing the top note. And the bottom notes are those alto 2s. But you'll notice it's very brief. It goes right back to SSA. So when you go back to page 7, there's only 1 alto part. If you go back to the bottom of page 8, suddenly we have 4 parts again. But again, you're alto 1, so you're always singing the top. You guys have the easiest job. You're always singing the bottom line, and you always sing the top. But that's what that SSA, SSAA stuff means. It's just a reminder that, oh, by the way, we've got 4 parts we got to cover. At the top of 9, that's when we're back to SSA. And we do that for a while. At the bottom of 10, we have those same chords. Top of 11, we're back to SSA. And then at the bottom of 11, we are in 4 parts. And at that point, we're essentially in 4 parts to the end. So all that SSA and SSAA is just to help give you a little heads up. Oh, wait a minute here. Now we're in 4 part. And to be honest, you guys are always singing the top part. It's more for the alto 2s than it really is for you. You guys just sing the top and never have to worry about doing anything different. Does that help, Carly? Yeah. Okay, Holly, is that cool?
It's cool. It just seemed like you were kind of singing a little high than what I was looking at. That was what was throwing me off. So
okay. Yeah, I think I was okay. I hope. But so again, as you're learning this piece, remember, first refrain, second refrain, same. That's good information. That's very helpful. Now let's do this last little part that we haven't touched on. And that's right here on page 11. You guys have an easy part, which we like. We like that. The sopranos have to do a little more counting than you do, but you lay down kind of a foundation. So here we are on page 11 at the bottom. This is measure 98. And what's happening here is it's just the harmonic structure of the refrain. So here's the pickup to 98 in the solo, then I'll just play your part so you hear it. I'll play both alto parts because just for the reference. Here we go, and then we are back where we just started. So we'll do that again. The thing to notice at the bottom of 9, which again doesn't affect you at all, if you look at the sopranos, they have to do this kind of cool thing. So they're kind of you guys just lay down downbeats. Father fills our hearts and makes us sing, Lord, 'cause that's Christmas. I've got this, and then that's where we started the day. So at the bottom of 11, you're saying two things. Dum, you're closing to the M, dum, or you're doing a do, okay? So you're always singing, and you'll notice I've got the slurs to let you know when to not breathe, right? You know, to ignore the rest. But you're kind of making this instrumental sound. Sorry. Joy. So you do those do's and dums until you say the word oh, joy. Let's do that again. This is the bottom of 98. I'll just play your part. Here we go. This is page 11 at the bottom, measure 98. And 1, 2, 3. Joy that fills our hearts and makes us sing, Lord. That's Christmas. I've got this Christmas song in my heart. And back. That's the Father Christmas will bring. Oh, that's Christmas to me. So how is that dum thing? Dum, dum, dum. Yeah? I mean, I'm sure you've done stuff like that in the past. It's just essentially what we're doing is just making this instrumental moment. It sounds really cool. It's the kind of thing pentatonics would do. So let's now fill in the gaps. So in the last few minutes we have, let's go back to the beginning. At the beginning, we're all singing the same rhythm. We're all singing the same words at the same time. That happens all the way through the first verse. And then we sing a second verse. That's over on page 3. And again, you're singing all the same rhythms. You're singing all the same words. It's at the top of 5 where we get our first refrain. That's where you start something different, being kind of an accompaniment to the soloist. But we've already been through all of that. So let's go from the beginning, or at least where you come in. Let's go from the beginning on page 1. And let's remember what we kind of talked about with this piece last week. But let's keep going all the way through. So in your roadmap, you've got a verse. You've got a second verse. Then you begin the refrain. That's on page 5. Then on page 7, you're doing back up to another verse. On page 9, you're back up to the refrain again. You do the dums at the bottom of 11. And then we have one more refrain on page 13. Everything kind of flows in 2-page intervals. So keep that in your mind, you know. Every couple of pages, you're doing the next thing, whatever the next thing is. So here we go. Here's the first page, right when you come in. In fact, let's just to remind ourselves, let's speak once. Let's speak the first couple of pages. Let's just speak in rhythm with me. 1, 2, go. The fireplace is burning bright, shining all on me. I see the presents underneath the good old Christmas tree. And I wait all night till Santa comes to wake me from my dreams. Oh, why? Because that's Christmas to me. That's the whole piece, guys. Some ba bum 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 bum. Some ba bum 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 bum. And again, the beat is slow. You just got to work around it. Again, this is one I would strongly encourage you to listen to pentatonics. They'll really help you out.
Why are those rests in there if we're ignoring them?
That's I would label that a mistake of the arranger, to be quite honest. If you pentatonic sings right through all that.
Okay, okay.
So I just don't want to get so chopped up. The fireplace is burning bright, shining all on me.
Okay, yeah.
Phrases just don't need to be that short because it's not like they're that hard to sing, right? It's not like we're. But if you listen to pentatonics, they sing all the way through. It's much more lyric.
Okay.
Here we go. Let's go all the way through, then we'll wrap it up. 1, 2, go. The fireplace is burning bright. Now, man, one more time. Beginning. 1, 2, go. The fireplace is burning bright, shining all on me. I see the presents underneath the good old Christmas tree. Here we go. Oh, the only gift. 1, 2, 1. Oh, the only gift. My goodness, I can't even count that. Let's speak it. Let me speak it here. Oh, the only gift I'll ever need is the joy of family. There we go. Yeah, so need is long. So it sounds like this. Oh, the only gift I'll ever need is the joy of family. Let's try that. 1, 2, go. Yeah. How about that, guys? We got to move on to the next one. But we've been through all of this. The scary thing about this piece is the way it looks on the page. And I know it looks scary on the page. It looks scary to me on the page. This is one where listening will help you go, oh, okay. I mean, I'm actually barely looking at the page at this point because I've just been singing the pentatonic stuff. There's only a couple of moments where you got to know, is it an upbeat? Is it on the downbeat? We'll get all that worked out. Yeah, we've been through all the notes. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I'm going to go on to the next. I'm going to cut you off. I'll talk to you later. See you Tuesday.